Hey, what's good everybody? It's your boy Krypts here. We're back with another video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Zhongli. So if you guys didn't know, Zhongli is now wishable right now. He has a rerun banner going on right now in the wishing section of the game, and Zhongli is actually one of the best characters in the game in my opinion. Probably one of the best supports. He's a great shield user, he does a lot of damage, he can do so many things, and honestly, he is one of my favorite characters in the game. Probably my favorite Husbando in the game for sure. And I really do want to showcase Zhongli today, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's get right into the video. So I've made Zhongli videos in the past, and they're pretty similar to, my Zhongli build hasn't really changed too much. It's basically the same. So as you guys can see, this is what I'm rocking with, the crit damage. I haven't really worked on his crit damage too much because I've been working on other things, but I'm probably going to be working on his crit damage a little bit higher very soon. But at the moment, this is what I'm rocking with. His energy recharge is at 166, which is plenty of enough because I will show you team comps later that this is definitely all you're going to need. Now, weapon-wise, I do recommend the Skyward Spine. I think it is the best weapon for a burst control Zhongli. So what I run Zhongli as a burst support. I use him for his ultimate, for his shield, for his pillar, and that's pretty much it, right? I don't really use him other than that. That's why I do like using the Skyward Spine, so I can get the energy recharge for him to get his ultimate quicker. So I think this is probably the best weapon for Zhongli. You can also use the Staff of Homa. Staff of Homa definitely works perfectly fine. The Vanquisher Vortex, which I'll put on stream, I'm pretty sure that's how it's called. I will put that on screen. That also could work out for Zhongli as well. The Deathmatch polearm is also a very good polearm as well. It is a Battle Pass polearm if you guys don't know. It gives you a crit rate secondary stat, so it's not too bad. But all in all, I do think the Skyward Spine is probably the best. So it increases your crit rate by 10%, which is pretty cool, and increases normal attack speed by 12%. Additionally, normal and charge attack hits on opponents have a 50% chance to trigger a vacuum blade that deals 55% of attack as damage in a small AoE. So obviously the 10% crit rate is probably the second most important part I would say, and then the energy recharge secondary stat is very important as well. I do actually have a secondary Skyward Spine that I am not going to be refining it into this one, just in case I do have another polearm user that wants to use Skyward Spine. Right, so for now, I have a second Skyward Spine that I'm not going to be refining it into Zhongli's, which is at the moment refinement rank 2, which is pretty good enough. The Staff of Homa is a very interesting weapon. I really do think it's a pretty good weapon for Zhongli. I think all in all, it does do the most damage consistently, for sure. I think the Staff of Homa does do more damage than the Skyward Spine. You still could get your ultimate pretty quickly, especially if you get some substats on the energy recharge. So it's not too bad all in all, right? So honestly, it really does depend on how you want to use your Zhongli, especially if you do use the Geo Resonance and you bring another Geo user with Zhongli. The Staff of Homa is definitely very recommended because you're going to do more damage because you're still going to get your ultimate very quickly, right? So what it does is increases your HP by 20%, which if you guys didn't know, Zhongli's his abilities do scale off his HP, so all in all it does help him, and also you get that secondary crit damage percent, so pretty cool as well. And you also get an attack bonus, based on the wielder's max HP, which Zhongli usually is very high. Artifact wise, I am still rocking the same one I've been rocking for this for a while. I am rocking a 4-piece Archaic Petra. In my opinion, I don't think it's the best set though. I think the best set is the 2-piece Archaic and a 2-piece Noblesse. The best set I would say consistently is that those two pieces are very consistent when it comes to damages, and it does the highest amount of damage when it comes to burst control Zhongli. Now, the reason why I want to make this video is because I really do want to talk about this new set. So this new set, the Tenacity of the Millelith, it's a very interesting set. It's a very good set in my opinion. So the 2-piece set, the HP increased by 20%, which if you rock this with Staff of Homa, you rock a 2-piece of the Tenacity of the Millelith, your attack scaling is going to be pretty decent. And then all you gotta focus on your artifact stats is, attack percentage instead of HP percentage, right? And all that sort, right? So this set is a very interesting set, and I really do think it's a very good set. In my opinion, I do think a 4-piece of the Millelith is probably the second best set, in my opinion, behind the 2-piece Archaic and 2-piece Noblesse. A 4-piece set, when an elemental skill hits an opponent, which most of the time it's gonna happen because your shield, when you put the shield up, or actually when you put the pillar up, right, it's gonna do elemental skill hits constantly, because if you guys didn't know, it constantly does damage, crystallized damage, all that sort, right? If you do other elemental reactions to it, so it constantly puts geo element into the opponents, right? So that part is basically set when it comes to Zhongli. The attack of all nearby party members is increased by 20%, and the shield strength is increased by 30% for 3 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 0.5 seconds. This effect can still be triggered even when the character who is not using this artifact set is not on the field, so that is pretty big in my opinion. So this is basically a support Zhongli for your team. You know, you get a stronger shield strength 1, and you increase your party members' attack by 20%, right? So it really does depend how you want to use Zhongli. Do you want to use Zhongli as a burst control Zhongli, you know, burst support Zhongli, right? If you just want to use his ultimate and do 100 damage and then get him out of the field, right? If you're going with that path, obviously the 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Archaic is definitely the route to go with. But if you really want to go full-on support Zhongli, you know, you don't really need his damage and you want your party members to do more damage, well, I would say this is the best set for that, because, you know, your Zhongli's just not going to die. Of course, you're going to have an HP increase by 20%, and then you're also going to have a shield strength increase by 30%, and your party members are, you know, their attack is going to be increased by 20%, because with elemental skill hits, it's going to happen all the time if you put Zhongli's pillar down. So it's a very interesting set and a really good set to consider if you want to go with a full-on support Zhongli. Now for me, obviously, I am running our 4-piece Archaic, and I think I do like this one better. But I am contemplating on changing it 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Archaic, because obviously a 4-piece Archaic is not better than a 4-piece Tenacity of the Millelith, in my opinion. So the 4-piece, obviously the 2-piece, what it does, it gains a 15% geo damage bonus. Very solid, very solid for sure. And then a 4-piece set, upon obtaining an elemental shard created through crystallized reaction, all party members gain a 35% damage bonus for that particular element for 10 seconds. Only one form of elemental damage bonus can be gained in this manner at any one time. So basically, if you guys didn't know, if you do crystallized damage, usually there'll be a crystal on the ground. You guys probably seen it many times, right? I'll probably show a video or something like that. So basically what it does is it drops a shard if you do crystallized damage. Sometimes it's hydro, sometimes pyro, depending on the elemental infusion you're doing onto the opponents, right? So basically what Zhongli has to do, I'm not sure if Zhongli has to pick it up or anyone can pick it up, but usually I do Zhongli just in case. So if Zhongli picks up that hydro crystal, right? So any hydro character in the party does 35% more damage, which is a lot. It's definitely more than the 20% attack bonus in the Tenacity of the Millelith, right? So it really does depend. I think the reason why I want to run this more than the other one is because at least I get that 15% geo damage bonus, which obviously this 4-piece set in my this 4-piece set definitely does do more damage than the 4-piece Tenacity of the Millelith, right? So this is the set I am rocking with, but most likely I'm going to be changing it to a 2-piece Archaic, 2-piece Noblesse very soon, and if I do, I'll probably do another Zhongli showcase, DPS showcase for sure. So when it comes to Zhongli, a lot of people are, you know, questioning if you should run HP percent. You know how Hu Tao you run HP percent, right? Well, when it comes to Zhongli, his scaling is not as good as Hu Tao, and it actually does less damage than if you do rock attack percentage. It doesn't do that much less damage, it's just a little bit, right? So obviously it does depend, right? Like I said, it does a little bit less damage, it's not much of a difference, and you get actually more HP, right? So it does depend on how you want to use it. For me, I'm gonna just rock an attack percentage sans for Zhongli, very simple. But you can also rock an HP percentage. It does work perfectly fine as well. But attack percentage for sans is what I'm going with. Goblets, obviously you want a geo damage bonus, definitely the one you want to go with. And also circlets, you want to go with crit rate, crit damage, depending on your ratios, depending on what weapon you use, right? So always depends. Now, when it comes to substats, you always want to focus on your crit rate, crit damage, get that as high as possible. And if possible, you can try to get HP percent as your, you know, substat. Energy recharge, attack percentage, those work. I would say probably focus on energy recharge a little bit and then HP percent. And then if you don't get HP percent, attack percent substats also work as well. So all depends on your roles. Now, Constellations, obviously, if you have Zhongli and if you did summon Zhongli again, you want to go for Constellation. And I don't really talk about Constellations too much, especially on 5 stars, But I think the only one I really want to talk about is the first constellation. This constellation is honestly very, very powerful. It does a lot. Trust me, it does a lot. So basically what it does is, you know, you're only allowed to put up one pillar at a time on the field. Well, with this constellation, you can put 2 up simultaneously. So very, very strong for sure. You're going to do a bunch of geo damage, bunch of crystallized damage, right? And it honestly is a very powerful constellation. So like I said, I don't really want to talk about constellations too much. You know, Constellation 6 is a very good constellation. Basically, your Zhongli just does not, you know, go down at all because it makes him just invincible basically. So it's a very strong constellation. Obviously, talent level ups are great as well, right? But other than that, you don't really need constellation for Zhongli. I've been rocking C0 Zhongli, and he does a lot for me. He's basically in all my team comps for everything, so definitely don't need constellation for Zhongli. Now, talent-wise, obviously, my talents right now is actually fairly low level in my opinion. I really do want to get this leveled up, but for now, we are rocking a 578. Not too bad at all. So what you want to probably focus on is probably the ultimate, because that's what you're going to be using most of the time, and then the pillar as well. These two you really want to focus on. Don't worry about the normal attacks, because you're not going to be using normal attacks for Zhongli unless you are, you know, doing a physical build Zhongli, which this video is not about. It's really a burst support Zhongli. So normal attacks you don't have to worry about. I'm level 5, level 4, you can whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Get to level 6, I would say. Just get level 6 and then don't use gold books for your normal attacks. But other than that, just focus on the planet befall and the pillar as your talent level ups. Now, team comps, there is honestly a lot of versatility when it comes to Zhongli. Zhongli can fit on honestly any team in my opinion. I don't think he is he isn't a weak link when it comes to teams. You can fit on any teams in my opinion, literally any team. You know, all you gotta do is a DPS, support, healer, and then you just put Zhongli. You don't even need a healer sometimes. You can just have Zhongli as your healer, even though he doesn't heal. He just shields your team, which is a very strong shield, by the way. And also his ultimate, you know, it gives you petrification, so it gives you, you know, about 2 to 3 seconds to kind of reset your team so that you don't take damage and all that sort, right? And he gets that very quickly. And if you guys didn't know, if you use your ultimate, the enemies cannot do any damage to you. So obviously, if you get Zhongli's ultimate very quickly, and then you're in trouble, you're in a pickle, right? You just pop out Zhongli's ultimate, and you get basically like 3 to 4 seconds, I would say, because you activate the animation and then the petrification as well. So it definitely is a very helpful time to have Zhongli. Now, when it comes to elemental resonance, is I really want to talk about first, is if you guys didn't know, the Geo Elemental Resonance got buffed, you know, back in 1.3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was either 1.3, 1.4, I don't really remember. And it got a huge buff in my opinion, and one of the best elemental resonance in the game. So basically what it does, it increases your shield strength by 15%. Honestly, very powerful in itself. Additionally, characters protected by a shield will have the following special characteristics. Damage dealt increased by 15%, so very good. Dealing damage to enemies will decrease their geo res by 20% for 15 seconds. So most of the times I will be running the geo resonance if I have Zhongli on my team. I don't really usually run Zhongli by himself. I always, most of the time, run Zhongli with Albedo. Albedo is by far the best geo battery for Zhongli. These guys are the 1-2 punch. Honestly, these two guys are probably one of the best team comps in the game. You put Zhongli's pillar down, and then you put Albedo's flower down. You're doing a bunch of geo damage constantly to the enemies, and then these guys, they get their ultimates so quickly, it's ridiculous. So that's why I really do want to run a Zhongli 2-piece Archaic, 2-piece Noblesse, because the fact that you get your ultimate so quickly with these two guys is unreal. So I'm constantly doing ultimates. So basically I do Albedo's ultimate, and then by the time that's done, Zhongli's ultimate is available. I use his ultimate, and then I do a bunch of other damage from my DPS, and then usually I put Bennett there as well, right? So these two guys, in my opinion, are the 1-2 punch, the dynamic duo. Zhongli's and Albedo are the best duo in the game, in my opinion. Probably the one behind them is, I would say, Hu Tao and Jinkyu, or someone else in Jinkyu, right? So, but these guys are definitely the dynamic duo and probably the best Geo Resonance duo in my opinion. But obviously, if you don't have Albedo, You can also run Ningguang, definitely works out as well as a DPS. You can, yeah, honestly Ningguang. I don't recommend running Noelle wherever she is if I can find her. I don't really recommend Noelle and Zhongli together because they're both shield users and not very recommended in my opinion, but Ningguang definitely works as well if you want to run the Geo Resonance, which I do recommend you do running, right? So Ningguang is a very solid 4-star in my opinion, so definitely could work out as a Geo Resonance for Zhongli. And then other than that, all you really need is any DPS with Zhongli. You know, you can run Hu Tao, Ganyu, Zhao, Diluc, Child, Mona, Klee, right? All these guys work perfectly fine. One of my favorite teams to run is Hu Tao probably, Zhongli of course, and then I don't actually run Bennett, I would run Jin Q, then I probably run Albedo. This is probably my favorite team to use. I get the shield up with Zhongli and Albedo, and if I need their ultimates, I will have them ready to go. Jin Q and Hu Tao will do a bunch of vaporized damage, so this is probably my favorite team to use in the game. But obviously, you can run Bennett also as well, right? And then you can run Zhongli here. This team also could work out as well, right? You can run Diluc instead of Bennett, and then put Zhongli, right? But always try to focus on the Geo Resonance when I'm making a team, right? You really do want that Enduring Rock Resonance ability. So definitely if you can have Albedo, run Albedo with Zhongli. If you have Ningguang build up, run her with Zhongli, right? The Geo Elemental Resonance is very powerful, so definitely do recommend you running that on your team comps. Now this video is a lot longer than I expected, but Zhongli is honestly one of my favorite characters in the game, and my favorite Husbando in the game for sure. He is definitely one of my favorite characters. He used to actually be my favorite character in the game until Hu Tao came over, right? But Zhongli is, I believe them since the start of the game. I remember when Child and Zhongli were announced, everyone was like going for Child. But for me, it was like, you know what, Zhongli looks a cooler one, and you know, he was actually really weak back when he first came out, and obviously he got buffed. And he's just so much better now, and I really do like Zhongli, and he's probably one of my favorite characters in the game for sure. So obviously we're gonna have a showcase, a burst showcase of Zhongli. I will rock him with a lot of different team comps. I'll probably have clips of the new Spiral Abyss floors 11 and 12, so definitely very excited to see that. And by the way, before I start the showcase, I'll probably make a in-depth video of the new Spiral Abyss. Obviously Spiral Abyss got basically changed up, reworked, right? So I'm gonna get that video out very soon. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this showcase. Zhongli is the best Husbando in Genshin Impact, so hope you guys enjoy this.
We've lost track of time, don't know how to feel, but I'm not sorry. I'm lost in your eyes, are you even real? But don't you worry, I'm not looking for the one. No, I just wanna have some fun. So let's get drunk tonight, cause fuck how we feel. But for now, I won't give it all away, cause I don't think I'll stay. No, I can't be the only one who doesn't wanna fall in love. Doesn't wanna fall in love. Doesn't wanna fall in love. Doesn't wanna doesn't wanna fall in love. May not see eye to eye, but we can be chill for just this moment. So turn out the lights and let's make a deal to just enjoy it. I'm not thinking about forever, I won't care.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed that Zhongli showcase. Zhongli is again one of my favorite characters in the game for sure. #1 Husbando in Genshin Impact, and definitely one of the best characters in the game because he does so much for you. The shield, the burst support, the geo damage and all that sort. So Zhongli is honestly really good, and his banner is up right now. It will be ending fairly soon, so make sure you guys summon for him if you guys need him or want to summon for him. I do recommend summoning for Zhongli as he is an amazing character. Now I know I haven't been posting much content on my YouTube channel, and I deeply apologize. I've just been really busy IRL. So hopefully we can get some content out there. I also don't want to, post like garbage content. I actually want to post stuff that, people would be willing to watch and all that sort. So hopefully you guys understand that. Anyways, appreciate the support so far. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button down below. Really would appreciate that. Y'all know the drill. Hit that bell notification. Notifies you when I put up a video. That's gonna be it for me. Peace.
Like I'm dreaming.